Hello. Back for another commentary run back. So, yeah, skip the intro here, whatever. So this is Super Valis IV on the Super Nintendo system. As far as I know, the Valis series is more like on the PC engine and maybe turbo graphics. They decided, I guess, to try to make one for this game. Really didn't turn out too bad, at least in my opinion. The music is really great, level design is pretty good. The one thing it really lacks is fair hitboxes though. And in terms of the speedrun of this game, to put it very simple, is about, I would say, 35 to 40% execution and 60 to 65% RNG. This is the first boss you see right here, already bad RNG, but I was trying to be a little bit more lenient, taking the earlier bad RNGs, just so I wasn't resetting all the time. Just about all the bosses in this speedrun are RNG. They have multiple patterns that they'll do, which, this pattern will cost this amount of seconds to this pattern, etc. That's pretty much how all the bosses work, with exception to the Crystal Pillar boss, which fortunately is very simple execution as well. So that's a freebie. The thing with the execution in this run is, even though, as I mentioned, there might be pretty little of it compared to the RNG in this run, all the inputs are very precise that you have to do. This game isn't very input heavy either, say compared to Link to the Past or Super Metroid. It's very, very simple in that regard. But again, those inputs have to be pretty precise to do everything that you're seeing here. Mistiming the smallest things will get you knocked back, or strategy just won't work correctly. And what you saw with me using the weapons on those enemies, I was reducing a little bit of lag. Most importantly, you want to kill that last enemy that you saw me do, because that one saves about 15 frames of lag, whereas the other ones only save a couple of frames. This boss was also a pretty good fight. A low 253 is very good, especially with a high 1 minute Visanti. Surprisingly, the RNG was very, very good in this run overall. It was very good. Could easily say it was above average. Unfortunately, I made a couple of execution mistakes that cost a couple of seconds. This is probably my worst executed run since the 14-16 that I did. This part is pretty difficult here. The thing with enemies is, when you stun them, you have a 16 frame invincibility window to bypass them. But that's a pretty small window given how unfair the hitboxes are in this game. And coming up is a pretty significant mistake. I started jumping at him a little too early, and I don't the optimal knockback so I get knocked back down. I lost, what was that, 2 seconds there? That's pretty bad, but, you know, the run goes on. Perfect RNG here. I think I make another mistake here, but this strategy is pretty hard to do optimally. Yeah, I get hit there. You have to time that whole sequence very well to get past all those little circle things. Very good RNG as well here, but I make another mistake. Look at that. I've done that a few times now, where I'm one hit short, and then I throw the, whatever that weapon is, instead of re-equipping and finishing the fight. But I'm still, you know, even with that mistake, I'm still ahead by 1 second. Why am I ahead after that? RNG, just like I said before. I'm also doing a little bit of safe strat here using the sub-weapon just to make that section a bit easier. Otherwise, it's one of the hardest screens in the game to execute correctly. As you saw, the game lagged a little bit when I threw the first one, so that's the only time you're losing, but I'll take consistency on that section. This part goes very smoothly. I use this as a buffer because you have to be walking off that ledge a little bit to make that full jump. So I use the armor equip as a buffer. So if I see that I'm on one of the correct pixels, I can just hold the jump button while I'm equipping and it'll automatically input it. There I get good RNG on the enemy, just walking back and forth real quick so I could jump over both of them without getting hit, letting me get that armor without having to stop. Because normally, if you take that extra hit earlier, then you have to stop there, take the hit to get rid of your armor, and then collect the weapon. It's like a 1 second save. More good RNG here. Got a nice double right there. A couple bad patterns, like if you go straight up and down, that's bad, so you can only hit him with one shockwave. But you see, I killed him before he even started the next cycle, so that's really, really good. Very solidly executed stage there, and good RNG as well. Now Crystal Pillar is probably the stage with the least RNG. However, the ice crystals seem to drop randomly, so they can not be in your favor sometimes. It's also extremely laggy in this level. Like, it's pretty obnoxious. However, the upside to this stage is that these moving vertical walls that you're seeing here, they're on a global timer for the level. And if you get to the end here optimally, you have about 3 seconds to wait. Like you see here, I have to wait. So if you make any mistakes while you're going through that screen, it's okay actually, as long as you're in that few second window, so you can get to the end optimally. That's really all that matters. And of course, keeping your armor for this boss, because you see the first instance of the armor bomb. If you have an armor equipped on Lena, the character of the game, and you use another armor suit, it'll create what we call an armor bomb, and that does a tremendous amount of damage. So we use that for the Crystal Pillar boss, and then you still need one more hit of the sub-weapon. Red Moon here has my favorite music in the game. Unfortunately, well, first I want to explain that little pause buffer I did there. You have 1 frame to turn around and keep your dash momentum, so I just use that pause buffer there to not worry about losing my momentum. I also get pretty bad RNG here with the fireballs. I got hit twice. And that will cause me to lose my entire 3.5 second lead here later on. Even though there is partial execution error here, if I didn't get bad RNG on the fireballs in the previous screen, none of this would have happened. I would have been able to bypass right here very easily. However, due to that RNG, I wasn't able to, and I was pretty much forced to sit there and wait for those fireballs to go. I got this little setup here to make the double hits a little bit easier, at least on the first couple. You see me crouching here at the end of this stage, and you'll see it more also, and you also might have noticed it on some of the earlier stages. I believe this is a glitch where the game is carrying over Lena's hitbox to the next stage. So if you're crouched like that, you're in the crouching hitbox, which is pretty small. So visually, I can just say the top half of Lena's hitbox is gone. And that's pretty beneficial with some parts of the game and some of these bosses. Not very good RNG here, actually. I got speared, which is 1 second. This fight is a huge pain because you need to get some double hits. Or I think at least one double hit with the shockwave, which fortunately I got. But you want to kill this boss while he's standing here, because you don't want him to go into the second cycle, or the second phase rather. Or I guess cycle would be, what do you call it? Because it's the same thing, he's just doing it again. But you don't want him to go into the second cycle because he's flying around and it's hard to hit him and recover well. So, very good RNG there. Lizard has RNG as well. Can lose like 5 to 8 seconds from it. I also making a pretty big error right there. You're not supposed to use the armor bomb on this boss, but my D-pad must have input up left by accident, which is really unfortunate because now I'm in armor short for the final boss Gallagher, which has the most painful RNG by far. Just about all of his attacks leave him completely invulnerable. The only way to damage him is while he's jumping around. And his jumping around patterns aren't too common compared to all of his attacking patterns, which again leave him invulnerable. So overall, the RNG in this run was really good. I think there was only 3 instances where it was pretty bad. But other than that, very, very good. I also have to turn my mic off in 10 seconds. I do apologize, but I'll just say, this boss goes pretty decently. He jumps for a good portion of it. I think I get iced twice. I get the best HP orb throw RNG at the end. But I kind of whiffed around for 5 seconds towards the end of the fight. I think, yeah. Oh wait, did I not get the orbs there? I don't remember if it was that, if it was the last attempt, but Anyway, I gotta rush to turn my mic back off now. Kinda did this in good timing. I will encode this PB and come back with more attempts. Just because I feel like it. So, see you guys in a little bit. Bye bye. Rolling out.